Welcome to the Alchemy of Ascension Season 2, where we are exploring our galactic origins and becoming multidimensional. I'm your host, Washayla Sananda, and today it's my pleasure to introduce you to Christine Michelle Hayes. Welcome, Christine.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I'm so happy to have this conversation with you today. And we're going to dive into the topic of frequency and manifestation and prosperity. And first, I want to share a little bit about who you are so anybody who's not familiar with you can get more of an understanding of where you're coming from. Christine Michelle is the founder and CEO of the Aligned Soul by Anna Hobb personal development brand and author of The Aligned Receiver. Known as the vibration lifter and energy shifter, Christine is a frequency alchemizer who helps you shift your frequency and elevate your consciousness to new levels. Lover of the woo, the spiritual, and the do, the practical, Christine left her successful corporate executive career to step into her soul's calling, utilizing human design, quantum physics, NLP, EFT, gene keys, and a ton of other modalities made her own. Christine helps you tune into your own wholeness and welcomes you home to who you truly are. She makes quantum leaps normal. Intentional manifestation gets to be easy. I love that. I love all of that. So you have had a lot of different trainings that you've integrated into what you do now. I'd love to hear a little bit about that process. First of all, let's just start with your origin story. Like, how did you go from your corporate executive job to doing this work?
Yeah, that's a great question and awesome story too. Well, just so you know, I've always had a spiritual background ever since I was a young girl. My parents are Christian, but they really were into like ask, believe, receive. Tune into God. The way they would speak it would be to ask God, trust, and believe that it gets to happen for you, and that's what gets to happen. So ever since I was a young girl, I always journaled and wrote about what I wanted and how life would turn out for me. And so I always intuitively knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur and I wanted to like live life on my own terms. But I also told my mom I was going to work in the beauty industry and live in New York. And so there were things that I just intuitively knew as a young 6-year-old girl. And I really started to shift, and instead of following my intuition, I started to do what everyone else required of me or wanted from me, right? To make everyone else happy. I'm sure we've all experienced that, to be good little girls or good little boys or good little dims. It's just, we were taught to like please everyone, and in order to do that, you do what's expected of you. So I was a really smart child. I ended up being the first Black valedictorian in my school, like all of those things. And it was really thought that in order to succeed, what did you do? You went to corporate and you worked for someone else. And that's what success looked like. And so I did that, and I was extremely successful in my 20-year corporate career. I worked for Victoria's Secret Beauty. I worked for Deloitte and Touche when I first started in my first career. They're called Deloitte now, so I think I'm telling my age. And then and then I also worked for the Coca-Cola company before I went to Victoria's Secret, and I was very, very successful, but there still was that piece of me that always brought in the spiritual with my, the practical. And so even with everyone that would report into me, I was always coaching, mentoring, and helping them be their best people from inside and outside. And that's what I loved. And so I got the hit and the notion that I would leave New York, because I lived in New York City, was super, super successful, multi-6-figure job, and decided that I was going to move to Florida, where I am now, Tampa. And so my sister moved there. We ended up living together, and we were like, this is so great. And I knew that I wanted to do something, but I didn't know what it was. So then I ended up going back to corporate, right? Because that was comfortable. but there was just something like even stronger within me that was like, no, you get to, have your own business. You get to do and utilize these tools to help more people rise, help, shift and, help everyone really like raise the frequency of the planet, but then also just really be the love that we truly are inside. Right. And so eventually, as I started this other position, even though it was paying really well, there was that little angst inside that was just like calling me forth to just step up and step out. And so eventually I was able to manifest myself a very cushy, nice layoff, and started full time into my business. But it probably was around 2012 when I really started to do this business, go online and start teaching, but then to go full time, it was in 2018, I believe, 2018 full time.
Wow. Well, congratulations for making that shift and stepping into your purpose work and then making yourself available to so many more people. That's
Yeah.
phenomenal. And I love it. I love those stories when people, actually did, so many people feel like, oh, I feel like I should be doing, my heart work, my purpose work, but it's hard to give up that paycheck and, if that's what you're used to. So I love that you're an example of that and you're doing it beautifully. So you're
Oh,
doing it
thank you.
successfully and hence that this is what you're teaching.
Yes.
So, I know you have a lot of training. That's what I was kind of getting into before with the gene keys and human design, NLP and EFT. Is there one that you use more, or is it's like an alchemy of techniques in a sense? Tell me, how have you melded or alchemized all of those techniques to create your own thing?
Yes. So what I guess you could say, I really speak to human design a bit just because there's certain aspects of it that I love, like there's a specific arrow that tells you what type of manifestor you are. So I love to bring that in. There's a certain way that our soul works with energy, right? Depending on what archetype that you are, what your soul chose, right? So like if you're a manifester, then you're really like initiating and pushing things out to the world. Whereas if you're a generator or manifesting generator, you're about leaning back and receiving, right? Things like that. So there's certain pieces of human design that I love to bring in because it just helps you work with energy in a more fluid and easy way. I actually really love gene keys because I love the way that they're looking at the gift frequency, the shadow frequency, and really the wholeness and completeness of you, and just really tuning into that you have a purpose, you have a life's work. And when you tune into those specific aspects of you that you came here to grow into, it really helps you open your mind to like what's key and necessary. But what I did was there's certain aspects of what I did in my career, like with the fragrances. I worked with Victoria's Secret and we developed fragrances and scents, and that's like connected to your mind, body, and soul. And so I combine like NLP with anchoring with ascent, right? So like helping people remember certain feelings and frequencies like happiness, appreciation, joy, like those type of frequencies, making a scent anchor where you smell that and that will lift you back to that frequency that quickly. So different techniques and tools that I love to like take all of my learning and bring it together so that we can actually infuse these frequencies, what we truly want to, when we can talk about this, we're going to talk about this after them, but what we truly want to manifest, we want to manifest because it's at a certain frequency that we desire to resonate with. And when you're resonating with that frequency, then it allows all of the byproducts that you want to manifest in. Well, what if you had some of these like a scent anchor to bring you back to that frequency, right? Bring you back there, you sniff it, and that's just a tool that'll bring you and you'll remember how it felt when you were tuning into that frequency that quickly. So that's kind of how I take all of the things that I've learned along my path in my life and just mix it all together with all of like the quantum manifesting and all of the things that there's that inner knowing within me that will work really well together to help make this very easy.
I love that. I love the idea of a scent anchor too. I work with essential oils personally, love, and that's a great idea to have to use a specific scent to anchor a specific frequency. That's brilliant.
Yes, and it's really, we did this, it was called Coming Back Home virtual retreat. And it was me and 3 other women, and it was just so beautiful. And my hour, I focused just on like scent anchoring. And it's just, when you think about it, think about how scent is really connected to your memory, and then you embody those feelings that you're feeling. Let's say a spring day. I had this crush in high school that I really, really liked, and there was this spring day when I think we ended up being around his house or something, and we ended up talking, and it's just really good feelings at the time. So every day when spring comes, and I lived in New Orleans at the time, but every day wherever I am, if there's that something that smells like that spring day, it brings back those feelings and that emotion that I was embodying at that time. And it can happen the opposite way too. Like if you're at a funeral or something that you associate like certain flowers with sadness or with grief, then that could bring that back too. So I love to utilize it to bring you to the higher frequencies so that you're in alignment with what you can easily more quickly be in alignment with what you desire. Because when you're at that frequency, you are in alignment. You are feeling, being, experiencing, embodying that right now. And that is collapsing time and bringing that to you.
I love that. And so let's dive into that conversation
Yeah.
some more. This is something that I practice as well, conscious life creation. I'm sure I come at it from a whole different angle. And that's what's so fun about having all these conversations, because everybody has their way, or like their unique way of practicing and teaching it, and like your own unique flavor of, creating life.
Yes.
So let's get into your way of your, creation and manifestation. And I know you're masterful in prosperity manifestation and frequency alignment. So I'd love to kind of just hand it to you. Tell us the story of how that works, and how do you use frequency to get people aligned, and wherever you want to take it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yay. No, yeah. So what I love to bring everyone back to, so let's tune in. When you desire something in your life, whether it's the sexy, amazing relationship with the hot guy, girl, or them, whatever it is, your partner, there's a certain feeling that you think getting that is going to make you feel. Or let's say the abundance, you have to have abundance in your life. You really would love more money, success in your career, bringing more money into your bank account, whatever it is. There's a certain feeling, a core feeling, that you believe that having that is going to make you, quote unquote, feel. What I like to bring you back to is, what if that core desired frequency is the manifestation? And if you just focused on that core desired feeling, tuning into that frequency, bringing that frequency into your body, embodying it more and more, then all of the byproducts that you want, let's say if it's loved, the byproduct of the relationship and the great maybe sex and the support and the partnership, all of that you want, that you think will make you feel loved, gets to come into your life when you choose to feel love and give love to yourself now. When we say, let's go into abundance. So let's say it's relief that you believe you're going to feel when you have more money in your bank account, or you're going to feel successful, or you're going to feel more joy, whatever you think you're going to feel when your business is successful, or when you're receiving more money continuously, when your bank account is full. Whatever you think you're going to feel, that's the frequency that you truly want to manifest. And when you can focus on that instead of the byproducts, then you allow the byproducts of more money, and all the things that come with it to unfold into your life with cleaner, easier ease. But the challenge is when you say that, you're like, well, how do I feel that? Like, well, if I'm in the midst of a financial crisis or something like that, how am I supposed to feel more abundant now? Or if I'm single AF or, and haven't had a relationship for so long, like, how am I going to feel loved? Right. And that's the question that I kept getting. And I was like, it really is about you. We forget about our imagination, but it really is about you tuning into the thoughts, the beliefs, the feelings and emotions and the intentions of someone that is experiencing that right now. And that brings you to the frequency that's in alignment with loved, with effortless abundance, with, those types of things. And so what I suggest, like, for example, anyone that's in my vibration, they're always like, oh my God, I feel so much better. That's why I'm called the vibration lifter and the frequency, and the energy shifter. Because that's what I've been gifted with, is to able to utilize words, to utilize my frequency to help raise people to the frequency that they're truly, truly desiring. And I also am gifted with a way to, make it a step-by-step easy way so that we can combine what we are embodying, right? So mind, body plus soul, which means consciously shifting so that you're thinking the thoughts and really like consciously being aware of what's going on, in addition to embodying it, feeling it truly in your body and bringing this new frequency in and aligning it with what your soul already knows, right? That this is just what gets to happen for you. And so that is what I love to do. And then we can use a specific example to help the audience understand what they get to do to shift, if you like.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
Yay. Okay. And so, let's say you would love to have more financial abundance, because we know abundance is abundance in all the areas. It's time abundance, love abundance, abundance of all the things. But let's focus on financial abundance, because we know that that's an area that could feel icky, right? It's an area that the conscious collective believe a lot of things. And so there's a lot of conditioning there and a lot of shadows, a lot of things that we have when it comes to money. And so what I love to do is first, let's look at it with our mind, right? Or first, let's look at your feelings. Feelings, that's the language of the body, but then that's also bringing you in to say, okay, what am I truly feeling about my financial situation? And so if we're tuning into our feelings about our financial situation, let's bring in the case. I filed for bankruptcy. When I had multi six-figure career, everything was thriving. And then I get, leave to go full-time in this career. And my clients are thriving. They're kicking butt. They're manifesting like crazy. And I found myself in a place where I wasn't bringing in money like I used to. And I was like, I know it's not money mindset because I understand that. And I was like, what is it? Right. And that's when I found really tuned into human design and really tuned into, I'm pushing and not being the true, I'm a generator, leaning back and allowing myself to utilize what's available. And so, but in the midst of the financial problems, things can get hard. And so you're like, stressed, or you're just like in a place where you are concerned and you don't feel safe and you don't feel secure, right? So that's what I kept creating, not feeling safe, not feeling secure, asking questions that weren't quality questions, more asking, what's wrong with me? Why is this not working? What am I doing wrong? Like those type of things. So what I did was I felt into it, and a lot of it was a lot of fear of, what did I do wrong? Did I leave this corporate job? Just what was I doing? And so when I tuned into those feelings and I said, what thoughts were behind that, right? So that I could consciously see what language I was speaking in relation to abundance. And the language that I was speaking was, what is wrong with me? Why am I doing, what is going wrong? I used to do all the things right. It was really focused on what was I doing wrong? I'm so scared that this is not going to work, like those types of things. And once I became conscious of what I was speaking, I also started to look at money and my relationship with it. Like money was my boyfriend. It's that masculine energy. I like to call the universe sugar daddy, but let's see money as sugar daddy as well. And so money would love to show up for you, and it's there and it's ready to do all the things and tell me what to do so I can go do it, right? So money is like a masculine type of energy, and it wants to do for you. But if you're looking at it in a way like you're not showing up, you're not enough, you're not appreciating it, you're kind of treating it like a bad girlfriend or boyfriend, to money, it's not going to show up fully in the way that it gets to. And so for me, consciously starting to look at the way I was speaking to money, allowing myself to do the work, some people call it inner child work, shadow work, whatever, speaking to like all of consciously writing all of the things that I was thinking about money, all of the things that kind of hurt, because I'm like, I'm a coach, I'm not supposed to think like that. No, we're all works in progress and works of art at the same time, remember. So I wrote all of those things down, and I got really clear on what am I really consciously saying and how am I really consciously showing up when it comes to money. And so we have a freebie that we're going to give. It's the Conscious Money Mindset Workbook that's going to take you through 6 steps on really looking at money in a different way. And one, really getting conscious about what am I saying about money? How am I treating money? Am I really a good girlfriend to money, or would I be a really bad girlfriend to money? Would money as my boyfriend want to show up for me, or is it like I'm going to hang out with the guys, or I'm going to find another girlfriend because who wants me to receive or wants to receive from me, right? And so it helps you shift the way you're looking at money consciously and shift the energy with which way you're looking at it. And then also to shift to spending sexy time with money, and then also celebrating everything that comes in and everything that goes out, because that's celebrating it coming in is like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming in, but then also celebrating it when it's going to do its job, right? And so getting in a place where you can celebrate money coming in and going out, that is true appreciation, and that is true giving and receiving, that energy of flow. Like money is like the ocean waves, it gets to come in and it gets to go out, you know. And so that was the big piece. But then the other piece was shifting my frequency, right? And so when you're shifting the frequency for abundance, it's really, for me, it was tuning into the energy of effortless abundance, effortless receiving. What does that feel like? And so when I tuned into the coding behind effortless abundance, effortless receiving, that was really tuning into just what effortless felt like for me, and then allowing the feelings of abundance to be effortless and embodying those feelings. And so do you see how like that became the mind? And then when I did the shifting, like you tuned into your body, what feelings are you feeling, the language of your body, then you're tuning into the mind. What am I thinking? What am I saying about this? And then now really tuning into, what do I get to say? What are my new stories for money? What do I get to say about this? And how do I embody this new frequency now?
Ooh, I love so much of all of it, but there's so many little points. I want to jump back in. They're not little, they're big points actually. Okay, so I'm just gonna like backtrack a little bit. When you're talking about, I love how you're anthropomorphizing money. You know, you're giving it a personality. You're calling it sugar daddy or your partner, and for a man, you know, I'm sure you can call it the rich uncle.
Sugar mama.
Or sugar mama, right?
It's the masculine energy that all of us have, even if you're a man.
Women have that side too, right?
Yes.
So how you're making it a relationship partner though, and thinking, so how, you know, you said you got to be a good girlfriend to, you know, if you want it to give you more, you know, you got to give to it. So what does that look like in practice? Does that mean we're going for massage, we're going out to nice dinners, we're using it to provide for ourselves?
Yes. So if you think about it, money is always providing for us. It's providing for us now, even, you know, as we're utilizing the internet. Money is giving to us because we pay for the internet service, or we're paying for the lighting, we're paying for like this whole exchange, right? To house Zoom and all of the things, right? And so being a good girlfriend or partner to money is when you can celebrate all of the things that money is doing for you, but then also be conscious of what money is doing for you. So that means weekly, couple of days a week, whatever, spending time to look at your financial statements, look at how money is flowing in and flowing out, and then celebrating each and every time it is coming in and it is going out. And that also includes, like I said, I call it money sexy time. So it's called balancing time. So I always look and I say, okay, what's going on with my money? I'll have water or a glass of wine, depending on what time of the day. And just really like looking at how much I received during the week and celebrating all of that, but then also celebrating every single time I paid a bill or paid for something, because money was sitting there and supporting me in all the ways. And I'm like, oh, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting me. Does it include also doing something nice for yourself? Yes. Like taking yourself out and spending a little bit of money on something that you enjoy. Because if you are constantly saying, okay, I'm using money, but I'm paying this debt and I'm paying something, and you have a negative connotation about what it is, then you're not truly excited about paying it. You're just trying to like get rid of it. Whereas if you're like, I'm going to love money for all of the things that it's doing something nice for myself or someone that I love, and also paying for this amazing credit card bill or whatever that bought so many things for me, and start looking at debt in a positive way, looking at things in a positive way and say, wow, thank you so much for being upfront money for me to enjoy this. Now I get to pay you and I'm so excited, right? And so shifting the vibration, because you can never rise and change and shift your frequency from the same frequency that it was created. And so if you're feeling down about money, lifting your vibration and looking at it from a different space, while you've healed and created space, will allow you to shift, and you'll start to receive more and more. And you'll see how this is all in tune with the energy of appreciation, thankfulness, gratitude is the energy of receiving. And so the more you appreciate it going in and coming out, you will start to see that it appreciates, it increases, you'll receive more.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love all of that. And, like it is, you have to cultivate that attitude of gratitude. And that doesn't always come easy when you just try and like generate it from nothing. So it is a practice. And that is part of my daily practice, is getting into the space of gratitude for my life, for everything in my life, the good, bad, all of it, and that's what you're saying. And so as you're speaking, I'm thinking of the love languages, the love languages, and you're talking about words of affirmation, the appreciation is the words of affirmation, and the quality time, spending time getting to know, how much money do I have and where is it going, and appreciating where it's going, and then gifts, of course you can use your money to buy gifts and appreciate those. And then there's touch. I don't know how that, you said sexy time. Like, how does that work with the money?
Well, sexy touch, sexy time. Well, I'm a generator, so we all about sacral and juiciness and the goodness. But really, touch, I never thought about that. It could be really you touching, because we don't really touch money anymore because everything's electronic and everything's a frequency. But you could just focus on anything that you've purchased with money, appreciating it, touching on your clothing, touching on the things that are in your life and appreciating it, and bringing it back to, wow, money took care of this. Money brought this into my life. I am so in love with money, and money loves me. I love money. Money loves me. And look at all the evidence of how much money loves me.
That's really interesting. And I love that attitude. Yeah, you can look at, like, I know a lot of feng shui practitioners and clutter clearing experts will say, only keep things that you're going to touch and appreciate. Otherwise, they're just taking energy from you, not adding energy to your environment and to you. And so if you're going to have something and keep it, to like be able to touch it, that's sort of that love language of to have an energy exchange, to touch the things that you have. Interesting. I love all of that. So, and also, oh, I love how you said money is like the ocean and waves on the ocean. It comes in and it goes out. And if we can think of like just paying our bills be like, okay, the waves just going out, it'll come back. And just that trust that brings in the faith, the confidence, the trust piece.
Yes, 100%. And think about it, like when you think about ocean waves, no one's worried that the ocean isn't going to come back in. If you think about breath, money is like breath. It goes in and comes out, right? In and goes out. No one's worried that the oxygen is going to run out, right? We know that my next breath is coming. We know that the next in breath and the next out breath is just happening and normal. And so if we can start to see money as that abundant as the ocean waves, as that abundant as breath and air, then you start to shift you move from scarcity mindset and lack mindset to abundance mindset, to really knowing that, no, I'm one with abundance. It is who I am. And so I'm one with money and the energy of money. It is who I am. And it gets to come in and gets to go out. And there's no lack involved.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And you touched on too that money is energy. And for anybody, I know some people that are in the world of spirituality are off put by the idea of money, like worshiping money or whatever they want to call it. And there is this, societal belief that money is just a tool. It's just an energetic tool of providership. So if we can even take away the word money and put in prosperity or abundance or affluence, the experience of being provided for by the universe is who we are, then you can can help people get over that hurdle or that mindset that it's not, a lot of us were religious growing up, myself included. And there was this whole, money and God don't vibe idea, but yet you're supposed to still contribute your money to the church.
Yeah.
So, I know a lot of that's gone away, but for some of us that were raised in it, there's still that piece of but how do I remedy my spirituality and my money? And that I think is so important now to understand. It's a frequency, it's energy, it's like your breath, it's like the ocean. You got to trust that you're always going to be provided for to bring yourself out of that lack frequency. Right?
Yes, exactly. And trust that the more you receive, the more you're able to share your message or help those that you love, or just even be in your highest vibration. Because you being sick, let's look at it from health, right? We want to all be healthy. If we have a loved one who is sick, us being sick as well is not going to help them. And so let's say when you're looking at money, having others that are lacking, you being in lack also is not going to help those others, but you being provided for and taken care of and having more money than you could ever dream of is going to help them, because now you can help, right? So it's like, if you look at it from a way of, wow, the more I trust that I'm taken care of, the more I receive in this energy of money or receive in the abundance that I'm one with, that allows me to make more of an impact in the world. That allows me to help even others, and it allows me to be an example of what is possible for others.
Yeah. And then we get to be in the heart of generosity and
Yes.
service and contribution rather than, and there's no judgment in this, but when you're in lack and you're, maybe taking from the whole, to if this is society has to support you because you're stuck in your lack consciousness, then you don't get to be a contribution of abundance and overflow. And please don't take that as a judgment. I understand people go through difficult times. And if you're on food stamps or welfare, that's okay. But this is meant to inspire you to maybe rise up out of that and find oh yeah, I can be a contribution. I'm not a victim, and I don't, I get to be a contribution to the world. And that's really what we want people to get.
Yeah. And then if you are in that space, you start off with gratitude for what you get to receive. You
Yeah.
get to say, thank you so much for this welfare. Thank you so much for these food stamps. Thank you so much for the ability to take care of my family. thank you, thank you, thank you. And the more you're in this gratitude for it, and now there's no blame for the system, there's no blame for where you are. It's just saying, okay, thank you that I'm in this space. Thank you that I'm able to receive this and what gets to be next. And then you can start to look at the way you're speaking about money, look at the way you're speaking about abundance in others who have maybe way more. Are you in gratitude to say, I can be there too? I'm seeing it, so that means I'm in alignment with it, right? And looking at it in that way, then you're going to start to see maybe more opportunities start to unfold, because it really is, and this is when I'm bringing the quantum, about you aligning with the vision of who you already are experiencing, $1 million you, or, financially abundant you exist. And so by you getting in the frequency of what you think you'll feel when you're $1 million you or financially abundant you, whether that's the feeling of effortless abundance, clients coming with ease, your job, your career being successful, your family being taken care of, and you tune into that vibration, that is going to allow time to collapse and things and situations and circumstances to come into your life. And that's where manifesting is. When you tune into what your end game, because there's no end game, it's constantly growing, there's no end game, but when you tune into your core frequency that you think all the things and the byproducts are going to bring you, and just choose to feel it now while you're on welfare, while you're struggling, while you're filing for bankruptcy, and just say, no, I get to be abundant. This gets to be the way things are. That is who I am. I'm one with this. And I get to tune into what it feels like, effortless abundance, whether that's relief in my body, whether it's like, clients coming with ease, and really tuning into that vibration. Then you get to quantum shift and things get to unfold into your life, and you get opportunities and different things that you never experienced before. And that's how it works.
Oh, yeah. I just love how you said, you start with how you're speaking. I know I've heard, we call it spelling when we're writing out words, because that's the spells we're casting on our lives. And the words that we use are the words we're creating with, and we're creating our life with our words. And you can tell where your frequency is with something. First of all, by looking at the world around you, what have I created here and what's coming toward me, but also what am I saying and speaking? And so for someone who is, maybe you lost your job because of COVID, or maybe, things aren't going well with your family because of the restructuring that's going on, just to know, just start with your mindset in those words. What are you speaking about your life? Are you saying it's hard? Are you saying I've lost everything? Or you say, and if you are, just notice, do you do like a journaling process to help people get present? Because I know we're oftentimes not present to what we're speaking about our world, and we can need some tools sometimes.
Yes. So there's two ways you can do it. I love to do it in two ways. Journaling is amazing because you're just allowing everything that's in your head and putting it out there on the paper. And then that way you can start to look at what stories you're telling. And then from there, you can start to say, okay, what's true about that? What do I think is true about that? And what does my inner self, my next level self, my higher self, what is that telling me the truth about that is? And then you can start to shift and say, what true story am I about to choose now? Because remember, all stories are true because you believe them. You can create your own story and allow that new story to be true. And so journaling is a beautiful way to use that. I also love to just ask guidance, because when you ask, it is done. So I love to say, guidance, allow me, God, universe, source, sugar daddy, however you want to say it, make me more aware of what I'm saying. Make me more aware of what's coming out of my mouth, and aware of, like, any time that I am in opposition or not in alignment with abundance, anywhere I'm speaking to lack, allow me to become more aware of it. And that can be after your journaling exercise. And when you have started to shift and choose this new story, universe, show me any time that I'm speaking that's in contradiction to this new story that I'm embodying now, right? And so when you ask and you trust that it's done, you are going to start to hear yourself and be like, oh, that's interesting that I just said that, and not look at yourself in a bad way, but just say, observation. Wow, that's interesting that I'm still saying I can't afford this, or this person is the reason why I don't have this, or because they have this, that means I can't, right? That kind of stuff. And you'll be like, oh, interesting. And then that's when you can, in the moment, shift, in the moment, say, wow, it's interesting that I'm still saying this. It's interesting that I'm still, do I believe that? Is that the story that I'm still going for? Or, is there something deeper there? Is there some emotion, strong emotion, some language from my body that's coming up that I get to, tune into, shift, feel it fully, and then allow it to, rise? Or is it just a habitual thought that I get to say, oh, wow, that's habitual. That's a habitual way I used to speak. Well, no, I've shifted. I've changed. I'm choosing this. So thank you for coming up and thank you for showing me that. But now I'm choosing to speak in this way.
Beautiful. Yeah. A conscious languaging of your life. And you can always be grateful wherever you are, can always be grateful. And I love it too. Like, even be grateful for what's going out, even be grateful, for the service that you're receiving for whatever's going out, or the person that gets to benefit from receiving what's going out, for the
Yes.
food, for all of that. So, and also something I wanted to touch on that you mentioned is, when you're looking at someone else that has something that you want or has more than you, are you looking with envy, or are you looking with excitement? Like, oh, that gets to be me. That's my future self there, like with that. And that's important. I think it's a big shift that a lot of people can make. It can be very unconscious, I think. The attitude of envy just, it gets to be cleared in order to step into abundance, right?
Right. Because think about it. Think about something that you have, right? So like if we think about, let's say you have a Honda Accord or something, and it's really cool and you love your Honda Accord. Are you jealous at other Honda Accord drivers? No, because you already have it. And so would you be envy and jealous if you were like, let's say you're single and you're tuning into a relationship? If you're envious and jealous of someone else in a relationship, that just shows you where your distance is as far as aligning with the frequency of being loved, being secure, and allowing that to unfold into your life. If you are celebrating it and you're like, yes, this is so great, I love love, yes, because you're full and complete and you've loved yourself, you are allowing that in. And so just look at it. It's no judgment. It's just observation and it's just information. If you say, wow, I'm jealous right now, something triggered me just now, then you can say, okay, what do I choose to believe? How do I choose to look at that? And allow yourself to become aware of those moments instead of making yourself wrong for it and embarrassed by it and stuffing it down only for it to come back up.
Yeah, so true. And I'm thinking about that with myself. I'm I'm single, and just thinking about, maybe starting to date. I'm looking around at my friends that have relationships that are good ones, and I'm just appreciating them. I'm just like, oh, that's so nice. I love that you have each other. That's so beautiful. You get to go do stuff together and play and have fun. And I think that's wonderful. And so I'm not approaching it with like, oh, I need a relationship, or I wish I had one. I'm really just looking at it like, that is such a blessing. And it would, my life would be blessed by that type of interaction rather than I have to find someone.
Exactly. And so this is where we can talk about frequency. So you've done the conscious money mindset work, or let's say conscious love work, whatever. And so you're so excited and you're looking at other people in those relationships. Well, now it's time to you knowing that you would love a relationship and a partnership. And let's say the reason why you want it is because you would love to feel loved. And so when you can give yourself love, that's when I was saying in the beginning of when we first started talking, when you give yourself that feeling of being loved and adored and feeling all the feelings that you desire to feel in that relationship, that's when it unfolds very quickly, because it becomes a byproduct and it's just attracting into your life because you have given yourself that and you're full and complete and you don't need it or looking for it or lack it. And so what was a challenge with a lot of my clients and a lot of people in my audience was, well, how do I feel that, right? And so what I created was these frequency audios where for 2.5 minutes you can press play and you'll tune into loved, right? And so you'll feel like it this audio was so amazing because I am single as well. And when I tune into that feeling of loved, I was crying from it because it just felt so good. And I was so loving on me and giving myself that love and adoration and that feeling of being like, oh, and in their arms or whatever it was, but giving it to myself now. And when you're giving yourself that frequency, that vibration, now you are in it. You have manifested it. It's done. And so the more often you do that throughout the day, I love to tell my clients to listen to that audio, that frequency, a couple of times throughout the day, every couple of hours, depending on what that is, because that brings that into your life. And so I do the same with effortless abundance. So when I was tuning, filing bankruptcy, it was like, oh my goodness. And I was like, no, I get to be abundant. I get to be abundant. This is what it gets to be. And so regardless of the way the outside circumstances were, I put an alarm on my phone, and every hour on the hour, I just stopped. And then I would tune in for a minute or two. And I would just say effortless abundance. I would tune into the feelings of effortless abundance. I would feel effortlessly abundant in my body. I would tune into thoughts of effortless abundance and just really embody effortless abundance. And so the end of that month, I go and I'm, doing the money sexy time. And I ended up tripling the month before.
Wow.
And it wasn't because I did a launch, because I didn't. It wasn't anything. It was because clients decided, oh, we're going to pay you in full for, services that were on like payment plan or something. And then someone else said, oh, do you do this? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Pay in full. Like it was just, it wasn't because I did a whole bunch of launches or anything. It was just because I tuned into that energy and then, followed through or did, made choices and decisions, showed up in a way where I was embodying effortless abundance. And I've done it in so many things. I've had clients do it in so many things. When you tune into, let's say, happiness, if you're just like, I just really desire, I think that having this relationship, or I think that having this money is going to make me feel happy. If you tune in and embody happiness now and use that as I'm manifesting happiness, I'm choosing happiness, and this is what I'm going to embody for the next, for this month. Let's say I'm just focusing on being my happiest self and just asking my question, like, what could be more happy and how could I be even happier in this moment? And really focusing on embodying it, thinking happy thoughts, and really tuning into that. Then you will find more things unfold into your life that are in alignment with that. You're also going to have things that aren't in alignment with happiness that feel real funky come up. Why? Because they are things that aren't in alignment with where you're going, and they are joyful blessings to say, hey, look at me, become aware of me, feel me fully, so that you can tune into this full embodiment of happiness. So it's not about bypassing and saying, I'm going to be happy and I'm not looking at that. No, it comes up because it says, wow, this thing, this thought, this belief, this whatever boulder that's on this path came up because it's ready to be seen, loved, and appreciated. And then you can just tune into feeling whatever came up. And then you can choose how you want to move forward. But it all comes when it's funny, because my clients will say, well, I was focusing on fun and this thing that happened is not fun. And I was like, that's because you're so in tune with that frequency of fun. You know how it feels, that one, you're very sensitive to something that doesn't align with that now. And you're very aware of it. And two, because it's ready to be looked at and loved, and it's no longer in alignment with where you're going. So how do you get to just appreciate that? Thank it for coming up, look at those thoughts, heal whatever gets to be healed, and then continue on focusing on your fun and your happiness or whatever you're focusing on.
Absolutely. And I love the idea of effortless abundance. I'm definitely going to add that one in because that's awesome. But also I love that you went to happiness, because we all know that abundance, or, a lot of money doesn't necessarily lead to happiness. And it's really, there's something beyond the abundance that we're looking for. Like, why you tuned into the why do we want abundance? Well, because we want to have more happiness and fun.
Yes.
Or why do we want a relationship? Usually it's because we want to have more fun, you know, we want to be happy. Well, we also know people that not everyone in a relationship is happy or having fun. So it's like the things behind the things we want are important to know too, because you can go straight for that.
100%. And so, yes, if you go straight to the frequency, so for example, let's say effortless abundance is the frequency that you would love to activate, then tuning into that frequency while putting a smile on your face and tuning in, because that's going to put a thought in your head that you're happy while you're saying, oh, clients are flowing and I'm feeling so good and I feel happy in my body and this is so effortless. Like really tuning into that true core desire and tuning into that instead of the details of what it gets to be, you are going to see things unfold a lot easier. Now, in human design, there's an arrow that's like, there's these 4 arrows if you ever pulled your human design chart. And there's one that's a bottom right arrow. And if it's pointing toward your head, it means you're a specific manifester. And if it's pointing away from your head, it means you're a non-specific manifester. Non-specific manifestors were brought into the world, and they're going to be the majority of people that are born after 2027. And it's because you're really tuning into the essence, energy, this is the focus, right? Specific manifestors, what was first the focus was always about the thing, like, oh, I would love the relationship. So then they're getting into details about how the guy looks or, how much money he makes, and all of the details would get them to feel the feeling that they want. What we're doing and what I'm doing is helping specific manifestors and non-specific manifestors shift. Instead of looking at like those details, first, let's get to your core desired feeling. So let's say it's loved. You want to feel loved because you believe when you bring this person in your life, you're going to feel loved. What if loved could be one of the specific that you want as a specific manifestor, and then you tune into specifics that help you to feel loved, which would be, instead of he looks this way, he does this, and it's kind of like those empty ones. It'll be more of specifics that you're like, wow, the way he holds me in his arms and it feels so warm and I feel loved, or the way she looks at me, or the way I feel when I'm sending love or giving love to her, right? Or something like that. Like that, those are the specifics that are going to be not only specifics, but they're going to be essence specifics that are tying you to what you really want to manifest, which is the feeling of loved. And so it really is shifting it from, I always say this or something better, right? Because the universe gets to unfold and you get to open up, because things we haven't experienced, we're not even aware of it if we focus on our minds and how things have to look. But if we say, okay, universe, this or something better, you're not only allowing the entire universe of possibilities to unfold into your life in a better way than you could ever imagine, but you're also tuning into saying, okay, I would love to feel loved. Let me tune into all of the specifics that I'm aware of that can tune me in and lock in the feeling of loved. But then I'm also open to anything that I have never experienced that'll make me feel even more loved. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we don't know what we don't know. So
Mhm.
one thing leads to another, right?
Yes, exactly. And so we're taking this, when we're talking about frequency and we're talking about like activation, so we're going to take it to the next step. So you've consciously looked at money, you've consciously like written down the things and thought about your thoughts and said, am I a good girlfriend, boyfriend to money? Like, how am I treating? What relationship am I having? What kind of partner am I with money? And so you do all the things and you do the money dance and all the things that I suggest in the conscious money workbook. And so then you're tuning in and you're like, okay, the reason, well, that was the first thing. But if you come back to what's the true reason that I want it, what frequency am I tuning into? It's like, oh, I would love effortless money. Or let's say loved. And I just really would love, oh, well, let's say safety or something. Like you're really tuning in. Let's not do effortless money. Let's say safety and security. So that's the feeling that you're like, I really would love to tune into feeling safe, feeling secure, trusting that money gets to support me and I get to be supported. Then let's go to the woo 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 woo. And what I do and what I've been blessed with, I work with a collective that flows through me, and it's called the Abundance Collective. And it really is abundance in all areas. So, all areas of life. But what I would do is, we have those frequency alchemy audios or whatever, but if you were tuning into the coding that aligns with security and safety, and allowing your frequency to be activated and upgraded to a frequency that will be in tune with you and all of your energy bodies and your physical body as well, that will allow you to upgrade your frequency to receive even more feelings of security, feelings of safety, and allowing that to become your default. And so that's where the frequency activations come in as well, where you're tuning in and you are allowing the universe, guidance, source, like your guides, to do energy work on you and your energy bodies to help you to upgrade to this new frequency and allow that to become your default frequency. And then you'll feel like, wow, I'm feeling more safe and secure and more, this. And that's because you intentionally have not only tuned into that frequency, but you have given permission to your guides, to source, to allow you to raise to that higher frequency.
Yeah.
And I always say, with ease and grace, you to embody that new level, that new frequency in your physical body.
Absolutely. And I'm an embodiment coach as well. That is embodiment coaching. We never want to just go out of body, have the experience, and then leave it there. We want to bring it in. We want to bring it into the heart. We want to feel it. We want to anchor it in the spine. And we want to hold that frequency for longer and longer periods of time until we can hold it indefinitely and become aligned with that frequency. So it's who we are being then.
Yes. So good. And so that's kind of the flow of how you get to and tune yourself, get aligned with whatever frequency that you desire to manifest. And so if there's anything that you take away from this, first thing is, you can get clear on the thing, right? Get clear on the relationship, the money, whatever it is. But get even more clear on why you want it and what you think you're going to feel when you receive that. Because the more you get clear about the think you're going to feel and the core desired feeling, and start to bring that in and anchor that in and allow this higher frequency to become your default, all the things that match that frequency get to unfold into your life. And all of the byproducts, I like to call it, get to unfold with super ease. And you start to be like, wow, this happened. And oh my God, this happened. And I didn't even realize this could possibly happen. And that's when you allow this to really unfold.
Beautiful. I love that. All of that. Oh my gosh, the time has just flown.
Yes.
I feel like we could keep talking for hours. I honestly feel like we just got started.
We shifted time.
We'll have to do this again. I have a feeling there's more to come. Thank you so much. I appreciated this. I've loved this conversation. Thank you so much, Christine.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. And to everyone watching, thank you for tuning in. And we are all one big family of light ascending together. Thank you for being part of this community and bringing your light. I love you all, and namaste.